Welcome back. Do you anticipate retirement with concern that you may need to adopt a financially conservative lifestyle? Or are you already retired and being careful with your spending? See, many Zoomers fall into the trap of an overly frugal mindset because they're afraid they may run out of cash. In fact, almost a quarter of Canadian retirees in a recent survey described their lifestyle as frugal. But with many people living longer, it is possible to find a happy medium between enjoying life and ensuring your savings last. Just how do you strike that balance? Renée.
Well, I think, first of all, as we've been saying, you need to have a plan. But what I also want to say is I think people really need to become very familiar with questioning their plan. And one of the best things I did was I just really got into the habit of reaching out to my planner when I had questions. So 2022 was a year with everybody's investments. And even though I know better and I know that the market cycles, I had a moment of panic, but just being able to shoot off an email to my mortgage broker, because rates were going up, and my financial planner, and just say, hey, do I need to worry about this? And I got responses within 48 hours, and the short response was, no, it's fine, you're fine. My mortgage broker looked at my numbers and he's like, no, you're good. You are nowhere near your trigger rate. My financial planner was like, no, remember we just worked through your financial plan.
So it's about understanding your numbers.
It
Monica,
is.
what's been your experience? Have you found that balance, or are there inevitable trade-offs?
I am probably nothing like anybody else here. I was accused at one point of always wanting to have a good time, and it wasn't said warmly. And it's true, I do. So I have a shoebox, and I'm not telling any of you where it is, but I have a shoebox that whenever I get that kind of money that, unexpected residuals, things that I don't know, I cash that out, throw it in the shoebox, and I have a travel account always at the ready, because honestly, before I'm leaving this planet, I am traveling to everywhere I can, and that's what I do. And so, yeah, I'm a good time girl.
Yeah. Moira, I think impulse buying can be a big obstacle for people that are looking to save, but at the same time, they should live their lives. Where do you find that balance?
Yeah, we find the balance in deep conversation and understanding of what's most important. So when we talk about purpose, it's why am I here? What matters to me? We talk about family. What are my values? Who do I want to spend time with? What does that look like? And so maybe for me, it's really important that every year I take my family on a trip. But you know what? I actually don't need to have designer clothes or fancy clothes, because I'm gonna put all my money to that. So it's really understanding where you wanna put the money and then structuring your goals and your plan accordingly, and then working with your planner who will help you, to your points earlier, to say, hey, I've noticed that you're doing some impulse purchasing here, it's taking you off track, or hey, good job, your savings is actually higher. Now you can actually spend on two things instead of just one.
Mm-hmm. How often do you work with clients on this issue?
A lot of the time people are just plain worried they will not have enough money in the retirement years. And even when they're in the retirement years, they're worried they're going to run out of money.
I think there's a psychology to it.
It doesn't matter if you are lower income or higher income, everybody's worried about how much money they have.
Yeah.
And it really just comes down to figuring out exactly how much money you have coming in, how much money is going out. Are you moving in the right direction? And does something have to adjust?
Yeah.
It's quite a simple process, but it's very difficult because it's an emotional process.
Bill, I'll bring you in on this.
One of the problems when people do leave a job in that state we used to call retirement is that they may get lots of advice about where they can invest their money. They don't get a lot of advice about what they really want to do with it and help figuring out, or they make decisions too soon. I've retired 4 times since I was 65, so I'm a bit of an expert on retirement. And my advice to people is always wait at least 6 months before you make final decisions. Make those financial ones that you have to make right away. But otherwise, in terms of what you're going to do with your life, wait until you've tried it out, experienced a little bit. You may go back to work full-time. You may go back to work part-time. You may want to travel. You might want to move out of your house or not. But all those things you really don't know until at least 6 months after the day that you walk out of that job at that point.
That's right.
That's such an important point. There are actually 4 phases of retirement. First one being anticipation. It comes 0 to 10 years before. Then you've got sort of liberation and disorientation, where you're like, yay, I'm free. Oh, what do I do? And then there's the reinvention, where you're like, I got this figured out. Now I know who I am, what I want to do. And then the last one, where you're in resolution and reflection, where you know who you are and you know where you're headed. And what we're hearing from Bill is just understanding that there's different thought processes in each of those phases, and it's important to have someone to go along that journey with you, ask those tough questions, help you to see what the opportunities are, and to really reassure you so you have the confidence to succeed in retirement.
All right, we are up against a break. We'll pick this up on the other side. Don't go away.